Title: The Tale of Oma, The Strength of Kindness. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled among the hills of Africa, there lived a young girl named Oma. Oma was only 10 years old when the tragic loss of both her parents left her heartbroken and alone. With no one else to turn to, Oma went to live with her uncle, a kind man who had always shown her love and care during her younger years. Her uncle, a farmer, had a wife named Zita. Zita was not as kind-hearted as her husband. Though she smiled in front of Oma's uncle, her true feelings were filled with jealousy and cruelty. Zita had no children of her own, but Oma's beauty and sweet nature made her feel threatened. The village often praised Oma for her kindness, and even though she was young, her wisdom shone through. Zita could not stand the attention Oma received, and so, her envy grew. In the beginning, Zita tried to mask her feelings and pretended to be a loving stepmother. But as the days passed, her behavior grew colder. She would give Oma the hardest chores and often scolded her for the smallest mistakes. "You are just a burden," Zita would mutter when no one else was around. But Oma, being wise beyond her years, understood that Zita's bitterness was not her fault. She chose to respond with kindness, offering a smile even when Zita's anger made no sense. But Zita's jealousy took a darker turn. One evening, after a long day's work, she decided to do something wicked. Oma had a beautiful necklace that had once belonged to her late mother. It was Oma's most prized possession, a symbol of her family's love. Zita knew how much it meant to her and hatched a plan to steal it. She waited until Oma fell asleep that night, then quietly slipped into her room and took the necklace. The next morning, Zita accused Oma of losing the necklace, knowing full well that she had taken it. She demanded that Oma find it, threatening to punish her if she couldn't. "If you don't find that necklace, you'll never be allowed to eat or sleep in this house again," Zita shouted, hoping to break Oma's spirit. Oma was crushed, but instead of giving in to fear, she decided to pray. She prayed to her late mother for strength, and in her heart, Oma knew that one day, Zita's lies and cruelty would be exposed. That very night, after Zita had gone to sleep, Oma walked to the back of the house. She had heard a faint sound earlier and followed it to a hidden spot near the garden. There, under the old mango tree, Oma found the necklace, buried in the dirt. It was as though the earth itself had protected it for her. The next day, Oma waited until her uncle was at the market. She carefully placed the necklace back where it had been, knowing that Zita would not suspect a thing. When Oma's uncle returned home, Zita went into a frenzy, claiming that she had found the necklace in a spot Oma had never mentioned. "It must have been Oma who hid it," she cried. But Oma's uncle, who had always trusted her, finally began to see through Zita's lies. He had overheard Zita making hurtful comments about Oma and had begun to suspect that something was wrong. When he confronted Zita, her face turned pale with guilt. Her lies unraveled, and her cruelty was exposed. As the truth came to light, Zita's evil plan backfired. It wasn't Oma who was punished, but Zita herself. Oma's uncle, heartbroken and ashamed of his wife's behavior, sent Zita away. "I will not let anyone harm this innocent child," he said, taking Oma in his arms. In time, Oma's life began to improve. She became known throughout the village for her resilience, kindness, and wisdom.